Welcome. It's nice to see you here. We have big news today. We actually have two big newses today for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, both pretty majorly impactful in my opinion. We've got some other news for Ethereum, for Solana, some other coins, of course, doing your questions second half of the stream. So make sure to stick around for that. Hopefully we can get through all the news relatively quickly and then get into what you guys want to talk about. So hydrate. Fantastic. Good stuff. So let's get into it. First big news, and this is a doozy. Crazy. Really just what is going on, man? Look at this. The U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency issues order to count Bitcoin and crypto as an asset for a mortgage. Order issuing directive to consider cryptocurrency as an asset for single-family loans delivered to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That's massive. That is massive. Lark, the real question. When you're out next week, who's going to remind me to hydrate during workouts? It's going to be rough, man. I'm praying for you. Look, this is crazy news. Guys, in America, you can now have your assets counted towards a mortgage for crypto. Think about how far we've come from under the Biden regime where they're literally trying to kill crypto. And don't get me wrong, Trump's administration has been far from perfect on things. Trump coin. Anyway, but they are getting a lot of positive stuff through. So this is big. This is big news, man. The level of seriousness that Bitcoin is seen as an asset now is truly next level. Truly next level, guys. It's crazy. I love to see it. Love to see it. Another day of Lark's Twitter having exactly one unread DM. You know, I answered it. Well, actually, wait, I don't know. You know what? I swear I answered that one. That it's back now. Crap. I tried. They always keep coming in. Anyway, besides the point, this is huge news, guys. This is great news for the cryptocurrency industry. Do you understand the level of, and again, that this happened back in 2017, the markets would have exploded. Everyone would have lost their effing minds. And I was like, no, that's nice. I guess I'll take that too. Fuck. What is going on in these markets, man? I'm telling you, we are getting the stablecoin bill. You can use cryptocurrency assets to count towards mortgages. Banking regulations are changing. Banks are launching stable coins. The world's biggest commerce companies, Amazon, Walmart, they're launching stable coins. I mean, my goodness gracious, everyone and their mother seems to be launching a treasury company for shit coins these days. Like, it's getting crazy out here, man. That's big news. Number two big news is here, okay? Indian ruling party national spokesperson calls for India to explore Bitcoin as strategic reserve asset, citing U.S. and Bhutan's growing adoption, saying a Bitcoin reserve pilot could boost India's economic resilience. Fascinating. It's playing out, guys. Now, we don't have official announcements out of China or out of Russia. Russia's largely thought to already be working on a strategic Bitcoin reserve. China's had closed-door conversations about it, and China doesn't need to announce it to the world. They'll just quietly stack, right? We don't know if they're doing that yet, but it wouldn't be surprised to see it either. India, man. Look, this is just calls to explore, right? This is not like Brazil. Brazil's it's actually working through the halls of their legislative bodies. Brazil's much more serious. This is very interesting, though. Does anything happen with this? I don't know. But if it does, I mean, imagine the world where Brazil, India, the United States all have strategic Bitcoin reserves. Russia probably has a strategic Bitcoin reserve. You got little countries like Bhutan. I guess Pakistan's working on a strategic Bitcoin. You know what? That's what it is. Of course it is. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Pakistan was like, we're doing a national strategic Bitcoin reserve. 3 weeks later, India's like, whoa, hold up a second. You're not going to do that. And we're not going to we're both going to do that. Okay. Classic. Anyway, this is big. There's simply not, you guys realize there's 21 million Bitcoin total every mine, 20 million, 19.5 million or something mined like that so far. let's say there's probably about 7 million lost Bitcoin. So we're looking at 12 to 13 million liquid Bitcoin in existence right now. The vast majority of that Bitcoin is in the hand of complete psychopaths who are not going to sell their Bitcoin. They have exited fiat and they're not coming back. So it's like the end of Point Break, man. It's just like, well, get away, he comes back in, man. Keanu Reeves is like, he's not coming back. Just throws his badge away, walks off the beach. Those are Bitcoiners, man. They saw that movie and are like, yeah, I'm going to do that with Bitcoin. Anyway, cool stuff. So Bitcoin, by the way, currently struggling at this level right here. So the key level I'm watching out for, by the way, is around $109,000. You see this downtrend line right here. I've had this feeling like, this rally might get up to like here before we sort of lose it a little bit. Let's see. That's, I think, a very critical level right here for Bitcoin, right around $109,000. So let's see if that plays out or not. But I can see this current rally getting up to here, having a pullback, maybe not as dramatic as these pullbacks, but having a pullback there. If it doesn't pull back at $109,000 and breaks out, that could be the start of a new major move higher, which probably means your altcoin bags get slaughtered again. Bitcoin down, altcoins kicked in the balls. Bitcoin up, altcoins kicked in the balls again. It's hard to win. Seems to be like I'm a psycho, Lark. I'm balls deep in altcoins. Balls deep, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Nice Point Break reference. Great movie. Great movie, man. Just magic. Magic, man. Anyway. Stocks also up 0.3% today. So that's in futures markets, obviously. We'll see what happens when markets actually open, what Donald Trump starts tweeting, all that fun kind of stuff. But hey, stocks doing good. Crypto had a beautiful few days here. Absolutely crazy recovery from, World War III fears straight back up. So let's see. Even a move down to the 20-day EMA around $105,000. Totally cool and normal. Okay. Just need to keep that in mind. All right. FYI. Now let's give away some money. Thanks to the guys who were Bit Unix. We won $1,000 today. $1,000 tomorrow too. So I'll be in for today, tomorrow. Yeah, get signed Bit Unix. So guys, Bit Unix is the hot spot to be trading at. In case you haven't heard about it before, you probably have, but it's the hot spot to be trading. It's where I'm doing most of my futures trading these days. If you want a long and short, all the big coins, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, they got your dog coins, they got your cat coins, they got the coins you want to trade, and they got crazy bonuses for doing it. By the way, it's no KYC, no VPN, meaning it's available to anybody, anywhere. All you have to do is click the link, sign up, deposit some cash, start trading. It's that simple. Okay? So you're going to get $2,000 in trading bonuses. The more you trade, the more likely you are to get up to the $2,000. It's staggered up in $200, $500,000, $2,000 range. The easiest thing to do, though, is to get your $400 deposit bonus. So if you put in $1,000, you get $200 back. You put in $2,000, you get $400 back. Lark, my wife says she'll army crawl 100 feet over broken glass to hear you fart through a walkie-talkie. Fascinating. I'm not sure what to think about that. Just fascinating. Anyway, let's give away some money. Of course, every day during the month of June, well, every day we're doing live streams. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're giving away $500 to two people, $1,000 a day, excluding any deposits under, let's say, $20 today. Stop anybody from being cheeky and trying to game the airdrop system here. We want to make sure we're getting real users who are depositing real money here. Okay, so those are going to be the qualifications for today. So choose two random numbers. Grok, help us out here, buddy. Between 1 and 148, 73 and 129. 129, legitimate. Nice. I actually love that. That's beautiful. Look at that. This dude did his $500 deposit. He got his $100 bonus back. He got an extra $500. Dude literally made $600 for depositing $577. Let's effing go. Congratulations. User ID 919347197. Obviously not sharing email addresses to preserve your privacy. So if you're the winner, later on in your My Rewards section, give it a few hours, guys. We're using like a real, spreadsheet here. The team's got to come back and check this later, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Anyway, your $500 will be there. You got to claim it though. It's not just going to push you in your account. You have to claim it from My Rewards section. Okay. So that's number 129. The other number was 73. Let's go. Oh, nice. Look at this. Guy put in $6,000, got his $400 already for deposit bonus and got an extra $500 on top of that. Not bad. Congratulations to the winners. Awesome stuff. Come back tomorrow. We'll be giving away more free money. Free money, the best kind of money. Crypto Banter sharing this. Ethereum's quietly going parabolic, not in price, but in users. This is what real adoption looks like. 20.2 million weekly active addresses, a new all-time high. 658,000 users across multiple chains. Level 2 activity, layer 2 activity up 75% week on week. Usage multiplier 8.8x. Wow. The price will reflect all this bullish shit one of these days. It's actually had a nice rally, to be fair, off the bottom. And look, that bounce off 2100. What was I saying? What was I saying before we broke out of the range? I said, guys, one of two things is going to happen. We're going to break out to the upside and we're going up to 3K, or we're going to break to the downside and we're going to 2100. It's exactly what happened. Very critical price support here. Nice to see a bounce very solidly off of that support, coming back higher. Beautiful. Love to see it. Currently, we're struggling to maintain this support right here on the 50-day EMA. If we maintain that support right there, bullish, okay? I think it'd be really good. I think it'd be a really good thing if we maintain that support here on the 50-day EMA. That would signal the market wants to keep ETH back in this range. This 3-day diversion out of the range was just a bit of a fluke, and that the market wants us to stay here. And if that's the case, then an upside retest on the top side of the range comes in around here. Okay, so anywhere between 2680 and let's say 2730. So right around this range, in this sort of $50 space here, you've seen most of the candles topping out right in this region. Okay, so now we've had a 3-day variance fake out to the upside, a 3-day variance fake out to the downside, and we're back within the range. Okay, so if you're a gambling man or lady, then going long from the 50-day EMA, which is approximately where we're at right now, is not a bad risk-reward bet, with a stop loss placed somewhere down around here. So current price is 24.50, stop loss at like 23.70. Bit of a wide stop loss. Don't use so much leverage on that. Could be a bit painful if you get stopped out, of course. But that would sort of be the range. If we want to keep it super tight, just say, hey, you know, if it loses the 50-day EMA, I'm out. But you can see these wicks under the 50-day EMA. They've been very shallow, but they have happened a few times. So you have to give yourself a little bit of room to breathe there. Okay. But we're back in the range, and that's a good thing. XRP, chilling. It's chilling. Our buddy's chilling here. Bread Garlic House, still chilling at the 20-day EMA. I would not be shocked to see a retest down at the 200-day EMA. Lee Craig says, no, I don't put stops. They get hunted. Maybe. But if you don't put stops, then you have liquidation levels. And guess what? Those will also get hunted. You're always being hunted. Anyway, drink from glass bottles, Lark. Usually, I got the cans and the glass bottles. Although apparently a report came out that said glass bottles apparently contain even more plastic than literally putting water in a plastic bottle. I can't believe that. It doesn't make any sense. But apparently that's the headline. Anyway. XRP is looking good here. Again, wouldn't be, if you missed this initial breakout move, watch for a 200-day EMA retest. Not a terrible risk reward, trying to bounce off the 20-day EMA right here with a relatively tight stop under here, because if you lose 20-day EMA, it's going to cut down real fast to the 200. Okay, that's my thought on it. Solana, our favorite salami coin here. So, DSG, there's a really nice whiskey distillery in Tasmania called Lark. I know, I've seen it before. I've had their whiskey before. I have not had a chance to make it to Tasmania. Definitely on my list of places I want to go, though. You know, definitely. Continuing. Solana generates more transactions revenue than Ethereum and all layer 2s combined. Solana, currently, it's a nasty daily candle so far, isn't it? Look at this, just fat wick to here. Oh, currently, though, it's a bull flag so far. Now, if we break under 142, I would say probably invalidates the bull flag thesis. Certainly if it gets down to like 140 or something like that, I don't think it's a bull flag anymore. However, so far, even with this nasty daily wick, still a bull flag, still a bull flag. So how would you want to play this? Obviously, a breakout of the flag is where you want to get excited. So there's two things here, though. You have the bull flag forming right under the 20-day EMA. I still have a buy order in at 149. I might move down to like 148. Although you see the last two wicks kind of stopped out there. Don't know. Maybe keep it in at 149. But once we take out this flag right here and the EMA likely at the same time, if we don't get a breakdown in the price, if we get a break up in the price, which is the bull flag, so it does favor the break up versus the breakdown. If we get the break up in the price, that target for this is actually the 200-day EMA. It's about a $15 flag pull here. So the breakout from here should take us up to around 160 before we see some consolidation, all that kind of stuff happen again. Yay, Solana. Pump all my Solana tokens. Let's go. Let's go, man. Love it. Poseidon sharing this one. 50-day consolidation. A breakout's bound to happen sooner or later. When it does, expect to make a lot of noise on the timeline. Also worth noting that, this is about to say, Circle is one of the biggest investors in Say, which is currently trading around a $60 billion market cap. It's pretty interesting, actually. Now, as mentioned yesterday, a lot of people were like, Lark, should I FOMO in up here at like 32 cents? It's like, no, this is a nasty daily candle. And that nasty daily candle, wick, was about here at the time we were talking about it. That nasty wick turned into a nasty daily candle. The price went down from 33 cents to 27 cents. And it now looks like it's heading back to retest the 200-day EMA. And that's a critical test coming up here. Like I said yesterday, if you like Say and you missed out and you want to get yourself a bag, not bag advice, but for those of you who have been watching it, if you loved it at 33 cents yesterday, you should be loving it at a 26-cent retest of the 200-day EMA. But you want that level to hold, okay? Also, if you're a trader looking at this and you're thinking, is that a good risk-reward long right here? I would say a bounce from the 200-day EMA, again, at 26 cents, becomes a decent risk-reward long. You see it's an asset that does have some good volatility when it gets running. So let's see. Was that the entirety of the move and the price is going to pull back significantly now to the 20 or 50-day EMAs? Certainly possible. That's what we want to watch to see if we're going to get a reaction off the 200-day, the purple line here or not at 26 cents. So that's the key level right now to keep an eye out for. Okay. Whoa. Did it. It did under 20 minutes, Lark. Congratulations. Get your red light hat on. Let's go. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Peace out, Mike. Have a good one, man. Atto, what's up? Nice to see you. Lark, why haven't you retired already from all the money you made for not talking about coins? James, I know, but the more I don't talk about them, the more they pay me. It's fantastic. Jupiter surpasses the combined 24-hour trading volume of all their chain aggregators, achieving total dominance despite operating on a single chain. Yes, Jupiter to the moon, man. Feels like an underpriced opportunity. But I think the thing that's going to make the big difference, and I know they got the buyback going on, which is good, but imagine if they did rev share. Be big, man. Cyber attacks. Lol, there's some cyber attacks going on. I never heard about that yet. What are your thoughts on Goldfinch? I don't have any thoughts on this. I have no idea. Is there a tradable coin to that? Goldfinch Protocol USDC on Coinbase. Haven't used it. Don't know much about the protocol. I know of it, but I haven't used it, like I said. Let's have a look at the chart here. You can see some massive smash downs here. Every time it gets a big rally up, it gets absolutely sold off brutally. Last few times here. Actually, it's quite a few of those candles on the chart here. Currently trading under the 20-day EMA, not showing a huge amount of strength on the chart. It is, of course, very definitively in a downtrend, as you can see. Put it there. Not a lot of great connection points along there, but you get the general idea. It's in a downtrend. It's still under the 20-day EMA. If you're interested in trading this for like a long breakout, I mean, it's not the coin that I'm going to necessarily trade, but hey, you know, if you're interested in trading this, I would say you want to wait for a daily candle close above the 20-day EMA, not a wick. These are wicks. Candle close. Okay, that's probably going to signal a reversal coming in here for this particular coin. Is it possible the business cycle will remain flat until we get meaningful rate cuts? Apparently, the private credit market's still pretty vibrant, so it's got that going for it. And to some extent, you know, you might see the business cycle be a little bit slower off the mark with rates so high. But again, I'd like to remind you, Nigel, from 1994 to 2000, during the greatest market boom of, well, our lifetimes anyway. I guess I haven't compared the exact percentage returns between the 1920s and the dot-com boom. But anyway, it was one hell of a rally. Let's put it that way. The whole dot-com boom happened with interest rates over 4%. In fact, they peaked at 6.5%. You can have high rates and have a crazy market time, okay? Bitcoin's been rallying up to new highs with high rates. The NASDAQ 100 just hit a new all-time high with rates at 4.5%. Okay. Now, in terms of the business cycle, businesses are still investing, businesses are still hiring. We shared the numbers here a week or two ago about the job openings, the JOLTS, right? So job openings went up last month. Corporations are hiring despite all the tariff scares and all that kind of stuff. So no, I don't think we need rate cuts to get a business cycle heating up, personally. Could you check out the Tau chart? Sure, let's have a look. BitTensor, the new paradigm of AI. Let's have a look at it. Since the last time we looked at it, this is the key support resistance line drawn on the chart here. Not a lot has happened. We had 2 days ago a rejection at key support flipped into resistance, okay? It was also lining up with the 20-day EMA right here. So currently in a downtrend, as you can see quite clearly here. Okay, so you get the lower low, lower high, right? Currently. Can we break out above this right here? That's what you want to see. Price closing a daily candle above the 20-day EMA. That's the critical thing. That's what you want to watch out for right now. Until then, downtrend remains in effect. When Solana ETF, do you think this will outsurpass ETH ETF inflows? I feel like Solana has a lot more hip following. I feel like, yes, that the Solana ETF will probably be more popular than the ETH one. Look at just ETH treasury companies versus Solana treasury companies. Solana has more of them and more money. ETH treasury companies, there's fewer. It's interesting, isn't it? When the Solana ETF, I have no idea. But my sort of prediction would be in the next 4 to 6 weeks. But it gets tricky because if it doesn't happen by the end of July, it's probably not going to happen in August. Everybody takes off work in August. So I doubt we're going to see ETF approvals during August. By the end of July, hopefully we should see ETF approvals for Solana. Inflows, I think, will be decent. So it'll be a big catalyst, I think, for Solana. And that's why I've got myself a big fat Solana bag over the last couple of weeks. Probably continue to add a little more into that too. Will the prices remain like this? When are you going to exchange your porches behind you? Never. Never. They'll be there forever until I shut this channel down. One day in the distant future. Addo, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Not a guru, just a dude on the internet talking about cryptocurrencies. But if my opinions can help you at all, then that's fantastic. Thanks for showing up and doing this. House of Creates, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love talking to you guys. But, well, you know, I love live streams. They're so much fun. And tomorrow is going to be the last live stream for the summer, I guess. July, August. I don't know if we'll be able to do any live streams or not, just because I'll be on the road a little bit and won't be able to you know, guys, how hotel Wi-Fi is. You need actually really good, strong internet for a live stream to happen. So we'll see. I'll see. We'll see if I can do any live streams or not, but I think we'll probably just be doing shorter news videos. So I'll miss you guys. All right, we'll be back in September. Is it too late to put money into Palantir? Asked Shane. I mean, we don't usually talk about stocks, but why not? I do like me some stocks. I remember hearing this guy who was talking about Palantir, saying that he bought it a few years ago because somehow evil always wins, and Palantir is evil. Same reason I don't invest in defense stocks. You know, plenty of things make money on. I don't want to buy bomb companies. Anyway, Palantir is an evil company. But regardless, is it too late to buy? Let's have a look here. Currently, it's interesting. Currently, you got a big fat bearish RSI divergence where you had the price high here, a new price high here. Oversold RSI, falling RSI, momentum's falling off here on Palantir, and it's currently forming this price in this gargantuan fat rising wedge. Now, however you want to draw that rising wedge, whether it's here or here like this, where you get a lot more connection points, whatever you want to do, it's a rising wedge, okay? And you can see the price momentum to the upside here is kind of slowing down a little bit, right? So you have this peak here. This peak's only slightly higher. So it's moving a bit slower. I mean, the price is pretty damn big right now. So here's the thing. One of two things happens here. One, you break the upside on the top here, which then has a significant breakout of probably like, damn. If it breaks out of this rising wedge to the upside, then it's a $200 potential price target, approximately. Currently, it's sitting at resistance. If it breaks down, well, it breaks down from 137 here to probably down here at the 200-day EMA. Not necessarily going to play out like that. I feel like you probably need some narrative, some bullshit happening in the market for that to happen. But certainly, in terms of just throwing money at Palantir now, God, there must be better risk-reward opportunities out there than buying Palantir at these kind of prices. But hey, I guess if they, if Palantir is put in charge of running the social credit system for America and providing profiles on every American to be put into the social credit system, then yeah, it probably does go a lot higher. Again, evil prevails. You're back in your old studio. It's the same studio it's always been. Actually, I've had this studio set up for a very, very long time. Palantir is evil. Don't sell your soul. I'm not buying Palantir. Just FYI. Lark, if we don't do live streams, I'll have to put EMA lines in the chart by myself. I try to keep it simple, guys. I'm made for crypto. My bags are down 25%. Still happy. What's the moistured, unbothered, in your lane? Fantastic. Very tempted to flip part of my say into Solana for the ETF trade to move back in again. Yeah, I can feel you on that. The tricky part is that, say is worth $1 billion and Solana's worth 80 billion, right? And look, I flipped my Sonic into Solana for this exact reason. Well, partly to chase the ETF trade with some more capital behind it. But also, I think the real reason is just, to have fewer coins in my portfolio. It's so hard to manage so many coins. I just got to keep, even now, it's like, cut it down. Just keep cutting, make hard calls, cut, and just compile the money into fewer things, right? So I'm not like cutting it and taking the money out of crypto and running away. Although some money does go into stocks, right? So it's not like it's leaving the investing world. Like I bought, Robinhood and Tesla and some Semler Scientific for a Bitcoin treasury play, which is basically me gambling on an altcoin, but just in the form of a stock. SBET, the SharpLink gaming one, the Solana, not Solana, the Ethereum treasury company. Gamble on that one too. Let's roll the dice, baby. Let's go. We're not gambling, okay? We're serious investors doing serious things, okay? Seriously. Anyway, I understand the temptation. The flip side of that, I think Say's getting some nice narrative right now. And I know I had a nice pump recently, but I think the narrative overall is getting pretty good. So that Mrs. Maintenance guy real quick. Okay, here we go. Anyway, Solana's going to go, man. When it starts running, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a good one. Then the ETF, I feel like very mispriced right now with the ETF coming, with treasury companies coming, all that kind of stuff for Solana. If it doesn't pump off the ETF hype, I don't know what's going to pump this thing. Okay, one or two more questions, guys. We're going to finish up for today. Please check SPX 6900 chart. Okay, let's do it. SPX 6900. What is up with this bad boy today? Oh man, that was a correction, wasn't it? Holy cow, let me put this up here. Look at that. Look at that, man. What a chart. Now, interestingly, is this a big fat cup and handle? Perhaps. The pullback from $1.70 to 90 cents. Brutal, man. Currently in a downtrend. However you want to look at it, currently in a downtrend, okay? It is maintaining a 20-day EMA. Momentum needs to pick back up, okay? Momentum needs to start going higher. We need to break out beyond the previous highs and start putting in new highs and get the price trending back up, get the EMA trending back up, okay? That's where we need to go. But yeah, if you're an SPX 6900 fan, currently seeing a 20-day EMA, not a terrible risk reward for a long entry. If that fails to hold, obviously you're going to put a tight stop loss in. Your next entry becomes the 50-day EMA, which is relatively quite a bit lower. Ivan on Tech made the 100K BTC song. Ivan, man, he's got some great great stuff, like his respect the pump thing. Just become a meme. Love it. Absolutely hilarious. What's the best place to stake Solana? There is a lot of places to stake Solana. I don't know. You got to look around. There's Marinade and Jaito, and you can do it on Phantom and a few different places. So there's some decent places you can be staking your Solana. So up to you. You can loop it in, but it's not staking, obviously. You can loop it in, finance, something like that, where, you deposit it, you earn some money, you borrow, get yourself your extra Solana. A few different ways you can do it. But yeah, when I was staking, I'm currently putting mine in Camino Finance with very, very low liquidation price, by the way. Not taking much risk on that. But when I was staking, I was using Marinade. So they were fine, but you have to check different providers. The rates are going to be pretty competitive, though. Like, you're not going to see a big difference between like Jaito and Marinade. Like, one's not going to have like 8%, the other's going to have 15. It's going to be like one's going to have 8.6 and one's going to have like 8.9 maybe, or something like that. And the next week that might change, So just choose one of the decent ones, Marinade, Jaito, whatever it might be, and, relax. Lark, is Bit Unix getting closed? No, it's not getting closed. Lark, is Bit Unix, whether it's allowed in the UAE is no state. I think they're getting in the process of getting a license right now. So I think that's what that was about. I asked the guy I know from there. He's like, yeah, don't worry about that. We're just in the process of getting a license. So it's all good. What's going on with fart coins? Just me, or is it losing momentum? How dare you speak of such things? The hot air only rises. Don't you know? Oh, let's look and see what's going on with this. It is definitely losing momentum. Look at this. Check it out. Now, full disclosure, I am a fan of farts. They're hilarious. I'm a fan of Fartcoin. I think it's also hilarious. I don't own any currently. Obviously, if you ever want to see my portfolio disclosures, link down below in the description. So, Fartcoin had an incredible run from 20 cents up to, where did we go to? $1.60, man. Beautiful, clean, 8x return. Look at that. Crazy shit. And I sold my spot bag down here. It was around 40 some, right around here, I think. I was like, oh no, it's losing the EMA, and then it barely moved, and then it just, anyway, I made money. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, just have to mention that. Currently, yes, we are in a downtrend for Fartcoin. So from hitting the high here, lower low, lower high, by the way, lower low here. Price needs to pick momentum back up. So let's say the next lower high comes in at, $1.20, just as an example, or at $1.15 or $1.10, something like that. Maybe this is the lower high right here, and we're going in for the next lower low until we, run through the downtrend and trend back up again. How long that lasts, don't know. Don't know. Anyway, if you are a fan of hot air, stinky ass farts, then watch for Fartcoin to reverse over the 20-day EMA whenever that happens. Currently, it's in a downtrend. How long that downtrend lasts is anybody's guess. But when the downtrend does finish, it's one of those coins that has very strong market reflexivity and will probably trend higher faster than a lot of other coins. Okay, that's it. We're finishing up today. You guys are awesome. I'll see you back in the next one. Peace.